Welcome to our tutorial how to plan higher availability. Today with an expert discussion on arc fault protection in low voltage power distribution systems. My name is Wolfgang Christ. I'm business developer for power distribution systems and I'm pleased that a technical expert from company Dehn to arc fault protection is next to me in the studio.
Wolfgang, thank you. My name is Lutz Graumann. I work at Dehn in the business unit safety equipment. I'm responsible as a global account manager for arc fault protection. An arc fault is often underestimated because it's not expected. It is also not an operational condition for sure, you can imagine. It's a danger to people, but also to the switchgear and therefore to the availability of the energy supply. You should ask yourself when to think about arc faults. Wolfgang, how do you see that? I think we need to talk about this.
The approach for a safe and reliable and long-term available electrical power distribution system is already laid down during the early planning phase. There is a common understanding and consideration of the essential requirements during the planning phase. The influence on additional costs can be optimized. The decisive factor here is the early identification of the source of danger as well as the suitable solutions to avoid or to eliminate them, but also the identification of the measures that sustainably reduce the occurrence of an arc fault. In this tutorial, we address at first the technical measures, besides operational measures, and finally personal protective equipment. We will both address exemplary situations that take into account the safety and availability of the entire service life of the electrical equipment. But what causes the support of the ignition of an arc fault, Lutz?
Wolfgang, yes, this is important because then you can take possible precautions or measures. There are many causes here that can initiate an arc fault in electrical equipment. In most cases, these are also human errors. However, it can also be external influences or technical failure. Therefore, electrical planners should take into account possible causes of errors very early during the planning phase. We should present some possibilities to protect in case of an arc fault. Wolfgang, do you have some examples?
Above all, it is important to include these measures in a decision at an early stage due to CAPEX and OPEX considerations. There are three different groups of measures with significant effects on the best possible equipment protection. An arc fault without appropriate protective measures can lead to power outages of the electrical equipment up to months. The downtime includes the replacement of defective equipment and includes the procurement, assembly and commissioning process of the new equipment. In addition to the expenses for the backup power supply to ensure further operation, the replanning of the electrical equipment with arc fault protection to be considered. There can be weeks to months pass by before recommissioning. The graphic shows schematically realistic downtimes without integration of suitable measures. The small flash on the yellow bar shows the reduction of downtime with optimal integration of the measure. At the latest, with the commissioning and testing of the electrical equipment, operational measures for the operation and maintenance of availability must be defined. In addition to operational safety, this also includes the obligation to plan and implement suitable occupational health and safety measures. Lutz, what measures should I implement from your experience?
Yeah, Wolfgang, thank you. Very important. First of all, you need to know the potential hazard and the demand on the availability of the electrical equipment. But the protection of people must also be kept in mind, very important. In short, I need to define protection goals. This is very important. On the one hand, constructive protective measures on the assembly can be integrated by the assembly manufacturer in order to increase the availability. If there are very high demands on the system availability, active arc fault protection system can be integrated. This technology allows a maximum reduction of the arcing energy within few milliseconds. Wolfgang, are there still other possibilities on the device page for protection against arc faults?
Yes, there are. On one hand, the integration of current limiting protection devices such as fuses or molded case circuit breakers. Another option is the integration of innovative circuit breakers with dynamic arc flash function. The integration of these protection devices protect the operating personnel during the service work and the electrical equipment through very fast tripping times. The selection of options with the tested systems and devices from Siemens and Dehn allows an optimal demand and cost optimized solution over the entire lifetime of the switchgear. I see you will prepare for a site job.
Yes, Wolfgang, just let me show you something. So I get to my clothes later. So for technical dimensioning, you have to know the technical requirements. But then you have to know also the conditions during operation, like maintenance, like replacement, or like extension. I showed you before my so-called PPE. It protects against arc faults. But, very important, it must be selected correctly and it must be worn correctly. This is very important.
Yes.
Therefore, we recommend to carrying out a risk assessment, especially also for new system. Then you can already take into account the right selection of the protective equipment during the planning phase of the assembly. If you need support, contact our colleagues at Dehn or at Siemens. They will help you. Wolfgang, where can our attendees find the right contact details? Can you help here?
Further information on the planning and implementation of the electrical equipment can be found on our website. There we offer you a variety of white papers, webinars, references and much more. We both and our colleagues are looking forward to receiving your inquiry.